Three, two, one, podcast.
All right, folks. This is Mike from Boston,
Hey, Mike.
and it's time for my tasty flight. I got something special for you here. This is Mayflower Brewing Company.
He always uses that as an opening line. I got something special here for you.
It works most of the time. Sometimes it's not so special. So this is
Every
Mayflower
time
Brewing
it
Company.
works. What was it? What's it from Anchorman? He says
60% of the time, it works every time.
All right. So I'm trying to say here, Mayflower Brewing Company. They're out of Plymouth, Massachusetts. That's right. That's where it all started, folks. This beer is X. It's their Imperial Stout. This was to celebrate their 10th anniversary at Mayflower Brewing. This is, I think, their highest alcohol beer that they make to date. It's 11%. Why it's not 10, I'm not sure. I don't know, but it is 11%.
Oh, that's
ABV.
just silly.
Yeah. And I don't have ingredients on this because this was supposed to be part of the Cooper series. But if you look on their website in the Cooper series, I can't find it. I find a 5th anniversary and a regular Imperial Stout brewed back in 2010. I haven't been able to find this. So this is what I got. So I'm going to crack it. There's nothing on the label. It's just a black label here. A nice big, looks like a little Malcolm X movie logo there.
Nice.
Just
Plymouth Rock. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock landed on us. All right.
It's so fitting, right? Right,
Yeah,
Mike? It's
right.
so fitting. It all works out.
Yeah.
Mayflower. Yeah.
It's American. I got a lot of head here.
And that is a pillow. That is a
Yeah.
gorgeous
That is,
pillow.
it's the Yeti 2 fingers, I think, at least.
A Yeti fist.
Hey, it's Yeti Two Fingers. How you
The
doing?
Yeti 2 fingers. Hey.
Get the
Hey,
papers,
get
get the
outta here.
papers.
It's really dark, Coca-Cola black. It's got a very light tan head, big, frothy head. Man, like I said, this is
Is there
an
beer in that glass?
Imperial Stout. My glass says toasted on it, like that, toasted. It's probably
Not
how I'm gonna
roasted,
feel after I
toasted.
finish this beer.
Hmm.
Whoo! On the nose. Man, just a really, I mean, that malty roasty aroma, coffee. Vanilla, almost like a malt candy kind of smell. Yeah.
Sorry, Tony. It's on the program guide. I don't know how you're gonna send it, but it's
was
the
it on there?
second. It's the YouTube/watch.
What's this for?
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
He wants to send the live link to the tasting right now.
Gotcha.
Sorry, Mike.
It's okay. They interrupt my tasting flight. That's fine. Whatever.
You always get railroaded, don't you?
Yeah.
Guess who's
Man, I mean, it's got all the signs of a stout here. It's got a really good roasted coffee flavor. Vanilla in there, almost like a English toffee kind of aroma. Man, I'd take a sip, but there's too much head in there to.
Don't
I'm
be
gonna
shy.
do it anyway.
You got
All
it.
right, here we go. Gonna have an
got
imperial mustache coming up.
Imperial mustache. Look at that stemless glassware he's using.
Mm.
Mhm.
Ooh, it's got like a coffee and molasses. The molasses, it's a little bit on the sweeter side, but it's got that kind of, burnt sugar molasses flavor. It's kind of hanging out.
Like toasted molasses.
No, like burnt molasses. No, it is. It's got a very
Like a creme brulee.
it's sweet. It's man, and it's 11%. Tastes like 11% is it's big. It's rich. It's now I'm getting some kind of bitter chocolate as well, like on the roof of my mouth. Hmm. I just want to keep taking another sip though, and it's kind of a sipper. Um, man, it's a big roasty beer. Um, what the heck to pair with this?
Sounds like a great beer to share. Like
Yeah.
11%.
Yeah.
Something you want to spread out.
You guys want to come over? You can have some. I'll share it with you. Speaking of which, this has to be a beer to share because I bought a 4-pack, and that's what I mean. I love Mayflower. I think they have a pretty good lineup. I like some of their special beers that come out. Um, this 4-pack, it's a pint, 1 pint cans. It was $15 for a 4-pack,
Yeah.
so
Yikes.
it's not
But
cheap.
11%,
That's true too.
that's
Yeah, I mean that's twice as much as a
Lot of-
lot of beers, I guess.
A lot
But
of ingredients in there.
yeah,
yeah. My 4-pack of City of the Dead was like $12.99, I think.
yeah,
But they were 1 pint cans and
yeah.
I don't know, special beer.
Yeah, I mean this is their 10th anniversary, so this is I mean I would think that this is a big one for them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I was hoping I could find like some extra ingredients that were in here, but there's nothing. Just says, celebrate 10th anniversary, the biggest beer ever.
I don't think we get Mayflower down in Connecticut. That sounds good
Oh,
though.
It's
yeah,
been a
I mean
while
I like
since
they
we've
have a
had
good
Mayflower on the
porter,
show.
kind of good like textbook style porter. I think they have. I like the Mayflower porter, and then they've got a few different takes on some IPAs. They got a couple session IPAs, and um, so one recently I had that was Evolupulin or something like that.
Lupulin powder.
Evolupulin, which I'm assuming yes they use the lupulin powder because it's the thing to do. um,
It looks like we've had Mayflower on the show just a handful of times, maybe like
yeah,
6 different times on the show. But I remember
yeah.
Mayflower
I broke
was
them out for
like,
Thanksgiving. That Thanksgiving ale was
yeah,
good that
yeah.
year.
I think you sent that to me, Mike. I think,
Yeah, I think it did. Yep.
yeah, and I remember liking that one.
That was the strong ale, no?
I think it was. Yeah, it might have
Thanksgiving,
been
yeah.
like an English strong. Yeah, it might have been a strong ale. Man, this one is tough. Like, I'm not quite sure what to pair this with. Man, I don't know. Man, I don't want to do. I was gonna do the teriyaki. And I think that's probably a bad choice. I think I want something.
I mean, how do you pair a beer that's 11% with food? I mean, I feel like that's a meal in itself.
Yeah, it is really. I mean, it almost feels like it'd be better with dessert. Like if you'd have coffee and a dessert, you might want to go with something like this, and then the dessert, whether it's got a little bit of a cop out doing a creme brulee, but something kind of
Like a pizzelle. Like
um,
something thin, like a thin cookie.
Pizzelle, like
maybe
with
a
anise and
cannoli. cannoli would be good. A
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
fresh cannoli with the
Gelato.
chocolate chips. Maybe German chocolate cake or something. That's too much. That's a little too rich. But yeah, it's got to be something I
Some
think
lady
that's got
fingers.
some of that dairy fat. The creaminess. I think might help something like this. But it's so roasty. It's got so much of the coffee and molasses flavor to it.
So you're
It
saying
feels like something they could brew back then on the Mayflower.
leave the Tettnanger and take the cannoli.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, let's see. I got some ratings for you guys. Uh, not too popular yet on Untapped. There's it's the out of 163 ratings,
Oof.
it's got
Wow.
4.06. So
Wow.
Damn.
it's
100?
still looks like it's new to the scene here. Popular locations is Mayflower in Cumberland, Rhode Island, which I didn't know that was there. And Dusty's Beer Lounge in Mansfield, Mass.
Good old Dusty.
Yeah.
Still kicking.
Yeah. Probably throw the peanut shells on the floor at that place.
Mayflower on tap. So yeah, there you have it. I'm going to untap it, and you guys, we can roll
Last
right
call.
into last call if you'd like.
Yeehaw.
Last call
Yeehaw.
for alcohol.
Nangers.
Tettnangers.
Yeah. This here's the wildest podcast in the wilderness. All right. Kick it off,
Roll
Mike.
right into it. Huh? We're gonna go with
kick
it.
Out. Let's do
All
it.
right, here we go. Live.
Catches.
All right, here you have it, folks. This is the last call. This is where we give a little feedback on the beers that we've
Give a little
just
bit.
reviewed. Give a rating, like a 5 pints. It's basically a 1 to 5 pint rating. And first off, where are we going to start here? We'll go with Tony on the
old
Sierra
hot bullet?
Nevada.
Yeah.
Hot bullet.
So we kicked off our fermentation
Number 1 with the
conversation
bullet.
with the hop bullet from Sierra Nevada. This was kind of a surprise. I enjoy Sierra Nevada. I haven't had them. I don't think I've had them in a while. There's a lot of local options around here, but
Since the last show, I'm sure.
did we have it in the last show?
Yeah, and we have the.
We had the regular Sierra Nevada, last year.
Oh, that's right. We did have the
pale
last
ale.
show.
Pale ale. Yeah.
Was that last
So,
year?
but it's still, in all honesty, it's still been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's I've had.
It's
Nevada beer.
been a while. So when something talks about having like Magnum, like especially this one was like, oh, we doubled the whatever Magnum. It's Magnum is a bitter hop that I
Need
use
this
in
Magnum condom for my monster dog.
Okay.
What?
Sorry, it's a little always sunny
Way
for you.
off. We're off the rails.
All right. Uh-oh. We lose everybody?
No, we're still here. I mean, I think we just lost Toby, but we're
We
good.
lost whatever listener we had.
Oh.
I don't think we had any this whole show.
So Magnum is a bitter hop. So I was concerned going into this whole hot bullet thing because I thought it was going to be too bitter, but I thought the balance of bitter and citrus was very well balanced. I liked it. I'm going to give this a 4.5. I thought it was good.
Wow.
Yeah. It was surprisingly something that I would probably get again. It's the Magnum. I think if you're going to have something like that, that's going to be as bitter as that kind of hop is. You want to have something that's going to be as strong of a citrus, you know, earthy, floral kind of thing going on. So it's not all bitter. It's
Yeah.
kind of plays well in the sandbox with the other flavors. So there you go, 4.5.
So the Magnum was not a bully at all.
No. Do not shy away from the double blasted Magnum. Double barrel blast of Magnum, whatever that.
In your face.
In your face.
Yeah, who's in charge of the marketing department there now at the
Yeah, I don't know.
Sierra Nevada?
Probably the same one that's doing Knee Deep's man juice right now.
That's so cool that you get Knee Deep.
I know. I'm very
'Cause they're
excited
like-
about that.
I don't know. I think Knee Deep is. We've had them on the show before, and I just think that they're one of those breweries. It's like
It's fun.
they're like backwoods, like they're Central California, kind of like, but they get some sort of a reach, and their beers are good.
Yeah.
And the
The
fact that
Breaking
they're-
Buds.
Yeah, Breaking Buds we had on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Mike, do you want me to go into my tasting flight here too?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so
Let's do
I
it.
also did the Lamplighter Brewing Company's Werewolves of Cambridge, which was a very nice porter. 6.3 if you went to the website, 6.5 if you went with the can, 6.7 if you went with Untapped. But it was a great time of year to drink a porter. It's not too thin, not too heavy. Had a little extra sweetness with the maltiness, but I think the coffee notes balanced it out. Solid porter. Would love to have this again. I'm going to give this a 4.
Sweet.
And yeah.
Cool.
Special thanks to Hannah for hooking me up with one of these.
Shout out to Hannah.
All right,
Give me some of
for my beers that I had in my ratings, Sierra Nevada's Hot Bullet. I thought it was pretty good. Something about it, I wasn't wowed by it. I thought it was a pretty solid double IPA, but I mean, it did have a lot going on. There was a lot of the citrus, and then with a little bit of the pine, and then ending with that kind of bitterness hanging out and stuff in sort of typical Sierra Nevada fashion. But I'm trying to think of like the Torpedo, or I think the Torpedo is their other like big IPA, like the double IPA that they do. And I think the Torpedo is a little bit more intense than this one. So this one seems like a little bit more laid back, which is not a bad thing, but
I think this one's definitely more complex than the Torpedo, though. Torpedo's like,
They also
All
have
right.
the Hoptimum too.
yeah.
yeah,
Oh, they still do the Hoptimum?
we've had that one too, right?
Oh, I don't know if they do it. I've had it. It's along the lines of
Yeah.
their double
So-
IPAs.
I think, Mike, I think you do make a good point that it is a little bit more complex than some of the other, and it's not a hot bomb, but yeah, I'm gonna go with a 4. I think it's really good, but it's nothing that I'm like, oh yeah, I did buy a case of it, so it's good that I am enjoying it somewhat. So yeah, a 4. I think it's worth checking out. For the City of the Dead Nitro coffee stout with cocoa nibs and almonds and sea salt.
That's a lot of stuff.
The last sip right there. Towards the end, I think it's weird. It's like this bourbon sharpness. It's like the sharpness of the bourbon and not the like smooth kind of creaminess is kind of what's dominating the flavor and the mouthfeel.
You're looking for some almond milk smoothie, you hippie?
But there is plenty of coffee, and there's plenty of of vanilla and all of that. There's just something about it, this weird sharpness that's I'm not a huge fan of, but I do like the beer. Um, and 7.5%. It feels like it should be higher than that as far as like the mouthfeel goes and being left over with all of this like on the sides of the tongue, this like kind of
I think
bitter
I think some
sharpness.
barrel aged stuff is kind of a little it kind of fools you a little bit sometimes, you
Yeah.
know.
Mm.
Um, I don't know if I should go 3.5 or a 4. I think I'm gonna go 3.5. I think
Do it.
it's definitely worth checking out, but it's not like I think the regular City of the Dead is better than this.
Okay.
So anyway, there you go, 3.5.
Hmm.
Is the regular City of the Dead? Is it just the nitro that has all those cocoa nibs and stuff?
Well,
Or
this one, I don't think the regular City of the Dead has the almonds and the sea salt, but I
so
think it,
the so it's the nitro that has all these extra.
yeah. So it is
Okay.
it's definitely a different version of the regular City of the Dead. I think the City of the Dead is just their whole like bourbon barrel aged coffee
Mm.
stout,
Gotcha.
and they might have cocoa nibs in the other one. I'm not 100% on that, but
Okay. Cool.
Cool beans. All right, for me the hot bullet um, it I really I like this one. It was I don't know, it was just good to kind of sit down and have a beer like this that had I mean, it did have a lot going on. I think it was definitely more complex than the torpedo, like I mentioned when Toby was describing it. Um, it wasn't just straight bitter; it just had a lot more going on. As bold as it was, I felt like it was still had a drinkability to it. That, I mean, I still
Yeah.
wanted more of this, and I'm glad I had uh, purchased a 12 pack as well. It's not for. I mean, I think it's going to be enjoyable for people like us. I think it may be um, too bold and possibly um, too bitter for someone that's just kind of testing the IPA waters, so to speak.
yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
Um, and a lot of the doubles that I have had that I really do enjoy actually have a little bit more of they kind of showcase the hot, even though they have a nice malt backbone to it. They still kind of showcasing like some really good juicy hops and stuff. And this one I felt like uh, them was kind of dialed that back a little bit and really tried to see what they could do to do a double and try to balance it out as well as they could. Um, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of thought went into this one to try to like do something a little bit different. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a 4.5. I think I liked it a little bit better
wow,
than Tony and Toby did. Um, I don't
Give
know.
it a
There's
four and a
something
half.
about it, and I felt like I just wanted to keep smelling that beer as well because I felt like there was a lot going on. But
I I think that the one thing that it was missing for me was more of the malty backbone.
okay,
Because with a lot of the doubles that I'm a big fan of, they have more of like a I don't know, like a beefiness and like
yeah,
That's just
no,
the
more
that's
I
just the
hear you.
different malts.
You're
Like
right.
that's a lot of
yeah,
like the Crystal 60 and the Crystal 90. Like some of
Mm.
the like
yeah,
I mean I think you mentioned earlier in the show too. I don't know if it was on mic or what, but you had mentioned you were coming off the Sierra Nevada celebrations. They use maltier grains.
yeah,
Uh,
for
you
sure.
know
Yeah,
where I mean I agree with Mike. You know, this is definitely one of those that you. It sounds like there's a lot going on with like the Magnum and the citrus and everything, but I think again, like you said, a lot of thought went into this, and it was uh, weirdly enough, I thought it was well balanced
yeah,
with all things going on.
yeah. And for my Mayflower X here, the 10th anniversary Imperial Stout. This is that. This kind of reminds me of those stouts that back when Beer Coaster Chris would try these and say with the roasted roastiness and that molasses, like a big bold stout. Um, it's a sipper. Um, you could picture. I'm not a cigar smoker, but you could picture like dipping your cigar in this kind of beer. It just kind of has that kind of big bold flavor to it. Uh, it had a nice sweetness to it as well. Um, I'm gonna give this a 4. I feel like I should rate it a little bit higher, but I think I'm gonna give it a 4. Um, I'm not sure why, but it's a really good Imperial Stout, and as Mayflower said, it's the biggest beer that I think that they've made to date, and so far so good. I've been pleasantly surprised with most of their beers. So yeah, keep brewing more, Mayflower.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to see what else they got. But that's my rating for that.
Cool.
Awesome.
I'm gonna enjoy sipping the rest of this too. It's as it warms up, it's kind of changing a bit too. It's nice beer. Big though.
Nice.
Yeah. So let's see. I don't.
Shoutouts?
I'm gonna
Shout-outs?
skip my
Shoutouts?
shout-outs this week. If you guys get any shout-outs, go ahead.
This week? What are you talking about? You mean this quarter?
This month, quarter, this.
I'll do some Untapped shoutouts. I want to give a shout out to R. Alex on Untapped.
Our
Jose
Alex?
Jose
We own him?
Ortega.
Is that legal?
Huh? R.
You
Alex?
said our Alex. Like
No,
I didn't
R.
know that we owned an Alex, and if we
No.
did, I wasn't sure if it was legal.
R. The letter R. R.
Oh.
Alex. Christian White.
I don't know that
And-
letter. I'm from Boston.
Booney Holland. Ryan Miles. Alan Alvagrim. And Bitsy.
Bitsy.
Is it Itsy Bitsy Spider?
And Phil Gibson. We have a shout out to Phil Gibson. Yeah.
All right.
Phil Gibbs. Sorry, Phil Gibbs. Yeah.
I'm gonna give a shout out to is it Jose Ortega? Is that his name?
Yeah, Jose
Nice.
Ortega.
Yeah, my new buddy on Untapped.
Nice.
Also shout out to Charlie Thorsten. Believe is another San Diego
Yeah,
light.
this is San
That's
Diego.
Beer Coaster Charlie right there.
Yeah, that is.
Charlie.
Shout out to those guys. I already was very appreciative of the beer. Thank you, Hannah, and excited to actually headed out to Providence this weekend to try some more roadie beers around the scene there, downtown Providence. So headed to Revival Brewing Company and possibly a few other beer halls as well. So
Nice.
that's it.
Cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed this month's episode of Beer Coasters Podcast. We don't know when we'll be back again. We do know that we'll be back. We're just not sure when. So hang in there, folks. We're still going to be drinking beer and we're still going to talk about it. We're just not sure how often it will happen. But check us out, the beercoasterspodcast.com. And anywhere else you get your podcast. We're still trying to get our podcast out on other sites and apps and things. So keep a lookout for us there.
Absolutely.
And that's it. Just remember, folks, it's your show. We're just drinking in it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I only have a can and a glass. It doesn't work as good.
A can in a bottle.
Wait, I can. Yeah, that's. It's like a thunk.
Those are my two beers.
Sweet.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.